Oh. This is the fever is, oh, I'm sorry, that's not even what I wanted to say. Start that over again, because I'm going to edit it. No, I'm not going to use that. Oh yeah, I'm going to use that, I'm sorry.
Pues está bien porque...
No, yeah, I'm going to use that, but I'm not going to use that title. I'm sorry, that's great. And then this.
Grabando.
And then, I know, I'm sorry, I'll edit this out for sure. Okay. Okay. This is the untold stories. The before, the hungry funny times, the middle, the real dance fever, the back in the days, and after back in the days. So, hello. So, my name is Jose Gringo Echevarria. And I don't want to get too technical with this, so I just really wanted to have a conversation with you guys. So, who is Jose Echevarria? How did Gringo get there? And this relationship, this love and hate, back and forth, loyalty between two friends. And it's all meaningful because if it wasn't because of those two friends, who knows what else would have happened, or who knows if I would have been able to be sitting here talking to you about these stories. So, you know, this Gringo boy, before he was really known as Gringo, he was just Jose Echevarria. He was the youngest of 4 siblings. He became orphans at 4 and a half. It was the late 60s, early 70s, and well, my brothers, my siblings, they had things to do. I tried, it wasn't their thing. I get it. The next best thing was Ma and Pa. They took over everything, right? So, Ma, of course, played loteria. Pops was a cab driver. And we were a wild bunch of kids, right? So, I know that when I came into the All-Stars, everything changed. Because now I was known as Gringo. I wasn't Jose, like in school. Jose Echevarria, and it sounds weird to me that Jose Echevarria, I really didn't kind of like really moved into that name too much. And I know that when I had the All-Stars, everything changed. Because every brother and sister, mother, father, friend of me that I didn't have, uncle, I had it with the All-Stars. Little did I know, huh? So now I had to, you know, I was a little older, I have to show some respect and have them understand my leadership. And through all that, well, I met my friend Troy. And he was in the same place at the same time, and we became really good friends. And the dance group times, you know, came and left, and we still remained really good friends. And we didn't let that go. And after the dance group left and we were, you know, we were still together. So we were a little older after that. And now we were still together. We couldn't let each other go. We were younger, I think maybe in our early 20s. So now it wasn't about the dance groups, right, in Chicago, because what we were going to do, we're a little older, we can get into clubs, we can dance, we can do whatever we wanted to. And that's what we did. So I met Troy, and he took me through gangways and hallways, and we took buses, and before you know it, we were in Old Town. We were young. We were like about 18 years old, and 20 years old. We were still hanging around together. He was all I knew. After Ma passed away, there was no need for me to go back to 2505. Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, leave it run. Oh man. Sorry. We'll edit this. Okay, wait till they get out in a little while. So then, after Ma and Pa passed away, there was no need for me to go to 2505 where, I really wasn't, I didn't feel like really welcomed. And so Troy took over. He said, Gringo, come on. And sometimes we slept in the back of porches. Enclosed porches. If it was the summer, okay, the back of porches. The back of cars, somebody's car and friends. Basements, they were warm. And he showed me, it's okay, Gringo. We didn't die. We're okay. Now we'll go get a nice bath somewhere, somebody's friends, somebody's house that we know, and then, and he showed me, hey, it's okay, right? He showed me how not to feel sorry for myself in that way, and just don't let life bring you down. Just don't let it. And I would ask him sometimes, Troy, how do you do this? He goes, Gringo, I've been told no so many times. I don't even know what that means, because there's always someone that would say yes. There's always someone that would give us a hand, Gringo. And he was the most optimistic person I've ever heard, I've ever been with. Even before I even knew what the definition of optimistic was, that was him. Everywhere we went. And he said, if they said no, we'll go somewhere else. Me? Well, I was still joseEchevarria. I was still shy, quiet, timid. Oh my God, I always thought that Troy was the world. He was fast, he was funny, he was witty, he knew jokes, he knew how to go all over the city. And when I went with him, a lot of times I would tell myself, oh my God, I don't even know how we got here, and how am I going to get home, and where am I? It's funny, he knew clubs, he knew places, he knew underground clubs and house parties, and we would do it all fearlessly. Everyone knew him wherever we went. A lot of people knew him. I mean, he was just known, and I would just gaze over him, and I was always mesmerized more with the things that he would do. So then, when he started getting into performing, he would tell me, Gringo, please stand here because I'm afraid I got stage fright. And I was like, are you kidding me? I mean, you're Troy. You're Troy Winston. You're a comedian. Everybody knows you. He goes, no, everybody don't know me. You know me. I got stage fright. And I didn't know that about him. Something that it's like Troy's kryptonite. Because he would get on stage and he would read you for filth. He would let you have it. But I didn't know that behind the scenes, there's some weakness to everyone. And only those that we trust, we were able to share that with. So I took that to heart. He would tell me, stand right here when he was going to do a show. And I would say, but why? Why do you want me to stand here? He said, because Gringo, when I see your face, and I see you looking at me when we do a show, I know I'm doing good. You know that, Gringo? Even if the audience claps, I have to look back here, Gringo, and I have to see your face. And I was like, wow, I never even knew that. I never knew that. Why he would place me always backstage. Because, I'm one of his #1 fans, and I always wanted to go in front of the stage and see him like everyone and get that show. But he was like, no, you're going to stand back here. And I did it. I understood more. Who was Jose? Well, he slowly got out of his shell. Troy slowly got him out of his shell. I was really in the closet with my family. Really didn't matter because they really knew first than me that I was gay, that I was a homosexual. One of those, you know. Why? Because when I was young, I was still the way I am. And people always know who you are when you're the youngest. They can see that. Sometimes you don't see it because you're growing up trying to follow the elders. But in reality, if they've seen you, if they've been having conversations with you, they probably already knew. You were the one that were probably thinking, oh my God, what would they say? But you know what they say? With their body movement, with their distance, with their inconsideration, not taking accountability, not being truthful, no guidance. Come on, man. I don't even have to keep going. Unfortunately. Right? So I really didn't know who Jose was. Jose never had a role model. So that's why I always thought Troy was everything. So now we're not with the dance groups anymore, you know, it's just him and I. Trying to find a place to live. Trying to find a place that we can get accepted. But damn, man, the music was always, the dancing was always number one. Because during the mornings, in the afternoons, we were bored, we were tired, we didn't have no energy for anything. But then when we knew it was coming around like 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, are you going? I don't know if I'm going. Are you going? I don't know if we're going. And we never really missed. We always went. That's the truth. And we always hung around together and we danced. As time went on, we all got an apartment. It was me, it was Troy, it was Miss Hollywood Taluslavish, it was Miss Elizabeth. Miss B always came over because she was always part, even when she was part of the All-Stars, we were always connected, Miss B. There was a big group of us that lived together, and then they would come to the apartment. I was the old prune. I was the one that they would say, oh, Gringo don't want to because it'll be too late. Or probably don't do any drugs because Gringo will see you and then he'll be saying, don't do that or don't do it like that. Gringo's the one that's always the worry word, right? Gringo's the one that's always, are you okay? But when somebody had a broken heart or they were sad or their family or I don't know why, they all, again, came towards Gringo so openly and so freely. And me, because of my character, it felt natural. And that one time that I think I shouldn't even do this because of the way they treat me, or I shouldn't do this because they think I keep nagging at them, that's the part that came with me. That's grandma and that's grandpa. That's the part of me of family. That's the part of me of forgiveness, of wanting to belong, wanting to be seen. But you see, when I lived with them, I was always in the background because I always felt they were everything. Edgar was explosive, unapologetic. He was the kind of character that was saying, I'm here, I'm queer, this is what I like to wear, and excuse me, you look great too. We had just this character, bubbly character. Of course, I always had a handbag underneath his arm, a handkerchief to wave in the air. He would wear matching shirts and bottoms, correct, tops and bottoms, because he would go to a female's clothing store called Lane Bryant, and he would get a lot of colors that he can get away with because he was absolutely wonderful. Chains and rings and he had lots of everything, colors. That was him. But he wanted everything now. He wanted it right now. He wanted it yesterday. He wanted the best. And he won't even take anything less. And when we lived together, there were bad times, and I gotta say that he took care of me a lot. But he would have been a great influencer. And these days, woo, he would have been showing you something that you would have said, wow, I want to be like that guy. You know that big, luscious guy? Hollywood Talu Slavish. I gave him that name. He loved it. That was his kind of androgynous drag name. But because he wanted everything really fast and everything really, I lost him. He had his own demons to face, as we all did. And even through that, I had Miss Liz. Oh, Miss Liz was first Edgar's friend. And I knew her within the group. She was wild, outspoken. She has the worst mouth on her, worse than a truck driver. But because we knew her, after a while she was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, and the guilt would hit her really bad. But she was part of us, and she was an alpha. She was really, really loud. She hung around with us, and she was really Edgar's mini-me. Edgar would call her a mini-me, and she used to love that. And she used to say, Gringo, is it true that this big old fat bitch said that he's an all-star? I can't imagine that bitch being an all-star. Edgar, you lied to me. You say you're an all-star? And I would say, yeah, he is an all-star. He goes, ooh, I want to see him. Gringo, he says that you're his best friend. And then he goes, yeah, we're best friends. And he goes, Edgar, bitch, I thought we were best friends. And Edgar would say, you're my mini-me, Liz. And just imagine, she just finished getting out of church, not going back to church. She was a Pentecostal. She had a long pencil skirt, the brown ones. A long pencil skirt, the brown ones. She had a white shirt, jet black hair, chubby as can be, loud as can be. It's been a while. You could tell she hasn't been to church because everyone couldn't hear her. We lost her too. So this is part of the group that was part of us hanging around and being who we are. I gotta talk to you about Miss B. Miss B, of course, part of the All-Stars from the beginning. And what was so special about her that she never wavered. She was always focused on what she wanted. She was always talking to me about school and what she wanted to be. A doctor, just like her sister. And we always stuck together. After high school, and then she went to college, and then she went to this university, and then we stood together. And when she first got married, I remember that she came to talk to me. And then after that, when she was going to have her baby, we also got to talk. And so these were really close relationships. Ms. B and Troy were really, really pivotal in this story because I'm leaving my train of thought, and I don't want to leave there. And I want to go, wait a minute. And then it was Miss B, and then it was Joy, and then, okay. So before I go to Miss B, okay, it's okay, I can edit this. One of the things that I do remember about my character and my personality when I used to be with Troy on the street was I was always afraid, man. I was always freaking afraid. See, because I come from a family, at least what I thought was my family, and they were wonderful. That's where I was raised. Despite we all change, it wasn't what we thought it was. It's okay, we move on, right? But there were darker times when, I was just not willing to do a lot of things, and Troy was like not wanting to be together no more, so I understood that. And we parted our ways when after the dance group finished. And, he was into heavy things and that I couldn't handle. And sometimes he would call me, but we would still talk and laugh on the phone. Yeah, we would still talk and laugh on the phone. But one of the things with us, I was always that nagging grandmother, he would call me, till I got into a whole lovable thing. Because I wasn't like every other friend. I was really concerned. What are you doing? Are you okay? Are you healthy? What's happening? Sometimes I was not okay. Sometimes I wasn't healthy. Sometimes I wonder what he's doing, and probably I'm even doing it worse. We had this relationship that I really was wondering how he was doing. So he was always in the clubs. It was always about the clubs with him. And everybody else was, don't talk to Gringo. Oh my God, is Gringo calling you again? That boring old prune, and this, and why is he calling you? He shouldn't be calling you. Gringo, Troy, don't even listen to him. He's already old, he don't go out. And probably that was true, but there were times, and this is very important, that Troy was always looking for me because we were all we had. He was on the streets when he was young, and I was with the all-star dancers when I was young. He didn't have no guidance, I didn't have no guidance. We guided each other, thinking we were doing really great things. But it was, because art saved us, because that's what we really wanted to do. Art saved us because that's how we were able to express ourselves, and probably even delusional in our own little way. And then we probably got together. So I knew that there were times that we didn't get together, so then I know that I had to stay away. And after everyone would talk and no one was never there, Troy, he calls me and he tells me, Gringo, I need you to come see me, please. Troy calls me and tells me, Gringo, I need you to come see me. And I said, of course. So I go to see him, and he's in the hospital. And I tell him, so what happened? And he says, oh, well, they're going to put a heart pacer on me. And then I said, oh, okay, so I will call you later. And then I said, fine, that's fine. Well, call me after they do this procedure to you. And, we kept talking back and forth. And then the next thing I know, I see a picture or something on social media where he's dancing in this alley with all the same friends that are probably sick, and all the same friends that are egging him on, and he's got a fresh cut, sweating, dancing in some alley with some music. And that's fun because we all do it. That's old school. We all have fun. But I right away said, you're a clown. And he was, everyone said, oh, Gringo's at it again. No one, everyone always thought I was a prune, or just why? Oh, why Gringo? Well, I let it go because I don't need to give anybody explanation. I was just really concerned about my friend. A couple of years passed. And he calls me, he tells me, Gringo, can you call? I said, absolutely, I can go see you. And then he tells me, well, I want to know if you can come see me because I'm scared. And then I go, and if you can be my last will and testament. I said, yeah, I can be that. I'll sign for that, I'll do that. And when I got there, he was it was a 2-room. It was where you first go in and you get all your gowns and you know your precautions and you make sure you're okay, your gowns and your mask and your gloves and whatnot. And I already knew automatically something's going on here, so I'm not going to react to it. I don't want him to see me reacting to it like that. So I, was putting on my gowns, and I can see on the other side of the glass he's already dancing. He's got an IV and he's got a gown and he's dancing with the IV and just being a clown and just being wild, So I go over there and he tells me, Gringo, I just wanted you to come because I wanted to, Gringo, I wanted you to be here because, I want you to sign the papers. And I said, of course, I'll sign the papers. And then, so he was like, so I said, what's going on? And he was just being a joke. And I said, I was tired of that. No more joking around when there's something serious. And I said, come on, what's going on? And he stopped and he sat, right at the bed, and I was sitting on the chair, and he said, I got the bird flu. Gringo, I got the bird flu. And I said, so what? You got the bird flu. You dumbass. The medicine. You're being all dramatic for this? That's what you were telling me? Yes, bitch, I got the bird flu. You so stupid, Joy, the bird flu. You're going to be okay. Look at how great you look. You look wonderful. He goes, Gringo. And then you know what? You're going to be okay. I gave you a big hug, a big kiss. The nurse comes in to give him medication. Take blood, get his vitals. I said, you know what? I'll be right back. I'm going to go use the washroom. Joyce said, his smart ass. Oh, Gringo, you probably got to do number 2, all right? Oh, don't tell me it's duty number 3. And I said, Troy, you're so crazy. No, you can use my washroom, Troy said. I said, are you crazy? You guys do what you got to do, and I'll be right back. There's a washroom a couple of doors down the hall. I went, as I was walking, I got to that stall. I slammed open that stall. I closed it really tight. And I held both sides, man. And man, I don't know what happened. I forgot I was in a hospital, and I started shouting and screaming, and I started just looking around, and I couldn't believe what was going on. That's my friend. That's my buddy. That's Joy. So I remember I opened the stall up, and then I started washing my face off with cold water, and wanted to get out of the washroom, wanted to get out of that washroom and washing my face off really fast with cold water. And as I walked out, I remember that the nurses were looking at me, and then I thought, oh my God, I think they probably heard me shouting. They probably heard me shouting in this damn hospital, on this damn floor, for that matter. As soon as I get dressed all over again, put my gown, my hat, my gloves, and then I get to Troy's bed, and he's already laying down. They put him really nice in bed and tight, and he just looked so nice and comfortable, and the bed was nice and tidy, and he had his hands to the side, and I remember he told me, hey, Gringo, and I said, what? And he said, Gringo. I said, what? And he said, you think you're smart, huh? You think I didn't hear you? I said, what are you talking about? He said, even somebody in a coma in this damn hospital heard you. We all heard you, Gringo. I said, Troy, you're crazy. And I sat next to him. I said, everything's going to be okay. He looked up at me and he said, promise me one thing. And I said, yeah, what's up? He said, if my cheeks start getting all sucked in and I start looking like a skeleton. I said, you're not. You're not. So I started caressing his face, and then I smacked him. And he said, damn, what's that for? And I said, because nothing's gonna happen to you, and I just want you to, you get your face. Your face is full of life, and that's why I had to smack it. He was, I'm gonna call a doctor on you, bitch. I went home. He left the hospital and he was out partying again. Being Troy. Doing what Troy does, huh? He was just destined to just do what he wanted to do. We will always keep in touch. Things were changing, getting darker. One call was that he wanted me to also go and meet him at the hospital again. So that call that he called me again that he wanted me to meet him at the hospital, and I went. And when I got to the hospital, he had a whole bunch of IVs and a lot of stuff was going on, and a whole bunch of machines, but he looked like he was fine. He looked like he was his gown again, and he was just all uppity and making jokes, and I said, damn, what's going on with all these IVs and all these cords and everything and all these machines? Like, this is very like futuristic, like space. And he said, no, Gringo, because I want you to be here because they're going to come and talk to me, and since you're there in my my will, power of attorney, he said, since you're there in my power of attorney. I said, okay. So all of a sudden this train of doctors came in, and I was like, oh wow, this is interesting. And then they closed the door to the room, and I was sitting to the side, and one by one went through their care plan and how they took care of Troy and what was their particular job in this. And I was thinking, why are they telling me all this? And each of them was telling me, oh, we had to do a process with testing the blood, and he always came in, dirty, either too much of this or too much of that, and we couldn't do this. Another one said, well, he would cancel appointments, and we were already tired of trying to get him. Another one said, well, we couldn't continue with these tests, and they were all leaving one by one. I was like, well, what? Finally, one of them said, well, this is legally that we are letting you know that we are no longer going to continue with the care and in this hospital as far as you receiving a donor heart. Man, I was like, what? I couldn't even believe it. I said, what did you say, miss? He goes, yeah. And she was the social worker. Everyone left, and she was a Latina. She was very kind, and she says, I'll tell you. And she sat there, and she says, in front of me and Troy, and she says, your friend Troy Winston didn't continue with these. And I said, but continue with what? He said, he was on the list to, receive a heart. He was on the list to receive a heart transplant. So she left, she closed the book, she goes, he's being recommended to another place. Do you know what happened that moment? I grabbed Troy by the throat and he pushed him down on the bed. And I told him, are you crazy? This, for what? For party? For good time? Troy, what happened? No. So I left. I think we didn't talk for many months. That didn't matter. You don't have to talk. You can never hurt Troy. Troy came already to the streets with the kryptonite on him where you cannot, you will not, and he will not let you hurt him. That's powerful. I wish I had that. But it doesn't mean he didn't love you. He doesn't love hard. And he doesn't love for real. But that was the way he was. That's what really separated us too. So I know that, again, Gringo the bad guy. So I was isolated from everyone that knew me because, it's boring. I'm a little older now, and what do I got to give? What do I got to do? And that's the way it was. I ended up having a really bad quadruple bypass. And, I went through that and opened my eyes because I thought that was it. I thought that was it. I had a quadruple bypass and I thought that was it. But the most calming thing about it was that I really thought I was going to be crying every day. I really thought I was going to be like, what do I do? Like, how do I get through this? Well, because I had love. I really felt that love when I really, thought I was alone. No. So, what happened was that I made that, I was able to do that. I had a quadruple bypass where I continued to have heart attack after heart attack, where they did give me blood, where I recovered, where 4.5 years went by and I didn't even hear from Troy. 4.5 years in the same circle of friends, and same address, same phone number. It's still nothing. I was really hurt. I held a lot of resentment. I was angry because I thought maybe of all people he wouldn't, but and not only that, when I thought, wow, I could really die, this is it. So it passed. One day I saw him on the street and he was like nothing. Hi, how are you? Like the page in a book, man. When a page in a book turns, and it was just like, wait a minute, you turn it back, but what happened in between? Nothing happened in between in his mind. It was like, hey, how you doing? I seen you crossing the street. You were coming to the store. And I said, yeah, I was crossing the street to come to the store. And he was still thrilled to see me, and I was flat, sad, stunned, and my mind was like, had a lot of different visions, like, what? Is this for real? And it was for real. It was him. So we didn't talk for a while after that. We just seen each other on and off. Things got a little bit more distance between us. And then he called me that he was ill. And then I said, I'll go with you again. Let's do it. That time I was healed. I was strong. We never talked about him ever not going to see me, supporting me, being there for me at all. We never talked about that. We just continued the page. Now I can tell that he was really getting ill. Different things were going on. I can tell. So what happened now? He ended up coming near. We ended up being together. Every time he fell into the hospital, there was not one friend there that went out to dance with him, that shouted out his name. Ooh! That was dancing. No, not one. And he would ask me for them. Have you seen so-and-so? Have you heard of so-and-so? And sometimes I said, oh no. But he already knew. I don't even talk to them because, they're out there looking cool where they can. What do you get? What do you give? I don't understand. And I seen that he really wanted them there. Mostly them. But he was stuck with me. And somehow I couldn't even let him go. He was stuck with me because I would make him get stuck with me. I said, I can't. He's part of my life. So I know that after he started really getting really ill, he went into surgery. And that day that they were about to take him to surgery, he said, "Why are you here, Gringo?" Why am I here? Because I told you I was going to be here. Why am I here, Gringo? Because I'm your friend. I love you, I care for you, and I told you I was going to, be here no matter what. No, don't give me that shit. Why are you here, Gringo? I wasn't there for you. When you needed me, Gringo, I wasn't there for you. Why are you here? And then I said, yeah, you're right. You weren't there for me. So, but what you're going to do now, you're going to go in there, you're going to get that surgery done, and when you get your ass here, we're going to talk about that. Because I'm still hurt. You abandoned me. You went with everyone else. And you left me. I'm sorry. And I go, so go do that surgery and come back. And sure enough, they brought him back. I waited on the floor near his room. The nurse asked me to go down the hall to the waiting room. I said, I'll wait here. I gotta wait here and see my friend come. I want to see his bed come through those two doors. And when it did, there he was. And then when they were putting him together, I told the nurse, can I assist you? I used to work in hospitals. I used to take care of my grandma and my grandpa, and I can help you. And she goes, she must have been sudden. She said, well, surely you can, honey. Well, that's just the sweetest thing. And then I said, well, how did everything go? And she says, oh, you don't have to whisper nothing, honey. He's already awake. He's out of the anesthesia. He's just coming and going, so don't worry about that. And then I go, oh yeah? So she was helping him, getting these cords out of the way, getting him comfortable. I was just reading Troy for filth. Yeah, I would tell him, he's crazy and he's no good. And I should just smack him right here when he's got these tubes in his face. And the nurse was laughing. And then I said, I should really take this oxygen cannula and kind of, bend it so he won't get no oxygen. And all of a sudden he opens his eyes and he goes, Gringo. He goes, Gringo. And then I go, what? He goes, I can hear you, you big gigantic old thing. Oh, you can hear me? Good. You can hear me. And I told the nurse, I'm going to go home now. And he says, you're the best thing that ever happened to me, Gringo. And I said, okay, I'll get some rest. And I went home. One of the things that really kind of haunts me a little bit, should've, would've, could've, 2000, it was December in 2019. My husband asked me, let's go to Puerto Rico. And I was like, well, no, because, what about Troy? He's nearby. And we end up either arguing and laughing, arguing and laughing, arguing and laughing. And then we do it again, arguing and laughing. It's just like two old ladies in a retirement home. And so, we said, we're going to be just a couple of days. And then I thought, well, of course, because I'll talk to him on the phone all the time, and we'll always be, I hope he doesn't feel bad about it. And sure, he wasn't. I called him and I told him, Troy, guess what? I'm in Puerto Rico. He goes, oh, Gringo, you're in Puerto Rico. And he says, you deserve it. That's good that Ivan and you are in Puerto Rico. It's good, Troy? He goes, yeah, it's good. Don't worry about it, Gringo, you deserve it. I said, I'll be back like in a week. He goes, okay. I said, I'll talk to you every day like I do anyways every day. He said, okay. And then he goes, don't worry about it, enjoy yourself. And I was like, oh, wonderful, that's wonderful. So, on the 25th of December, I remember that, oh boy, I was about to celebrate and it's going to be a wonderful trip. But then I got a call. I got a call that my friend passed away. So I quickly went to Chicago. He was in the morgue when I got there. 2 days already in the morgue. In the hospital morgue. They were about to do a big old event for him. From so many DJs here that know him. I mean, they put a list of people, big old list of people, DJs, all DJs, in honoring and tribute. My friend was still in the morgue. How do you do a tribute for anyone, family or loved ones, when they're still sitting up in the morgue? And everybody really hated me because I had MySpace by that time, you know, that social platform. And I shut down and talked and did not stop for 2 days straight, telling all these people you can't do that. If you had a cousin or a sister and you have them in the morgue, you're going to do this? No. So I wasn't the most liked person, now even more, now even by even DJs. And then there was a big old collection, and we did a GoFundMe, and it was very touching. I didn't know how I was going to react when I was going to have to go to see my friend, right? But it was really easy. I tell you why it was easy. Because when you are an artist or a musician, you're a painter, a sculptor, a poet, you are a different kind of breed, altogether from society and from the normal of every day. And Troy told me, Gringo, and I said, what? He goes, now you know these cackling bitches are going to be up there in front of my casket, and they're going to be cackling and talking along and crying and ooh, child, you know, like it's Sunday church. I know, Troy. I know they're going to do that. He goes, Gringo, you know, I just can hear it and see them right now. Especially all the drama ones, right, Troy? You go, ooh, yeah, all the drama ones. They just don't know. They're a mess, Gringo. There's a mess. I know. He said, Gringo. I said, what, Troy? He said, I love you. And I said, I love you, too. And he said, Gringo. And I said, what? And he said, I gotta go. I said, no, don't go yet. Why you gotta go? What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do without you? It's this, like, you know, Troy, Gringo, Troy, and I'm not Gringo without you, but what happened, you know? He goes, I gotta go, Gringo. I know you gotta go. He goes, Gringo, and I said, what? He goes, you're such a drama queen. You're just a big old drama queen, Gringo. You know, even when we used to do our dances, bitch, you used to do productions and big old ass numbers. All of us, Culito and Porter, all the groups always used to do dances, bitch. That's all we can do is dances. Gringo, you always do productions. You do everything big. Why? That's the thing. That's deal. Well, your uncle, man, he really did a job on you. Gringo, what? Troy goes, Gringo, man, we always gonna be together, bitch. You know that? We're always gonna be together. This don't change anything. You're gonna see, don't change nothing, Gringo. Gringo, come on, walk with me up there and say goodbye to me. Go and lean forward and say goodbye to me, Gringo. I need you to say goodbye to me. I can't, Troy, because I can't say goodbye to you. He said, see, there you go again, bitch. Drama. Drama, you're not going to say goodbye to me. I'm always going to be with you. I'm always going to be with you. Even when you say goodbye to me. As we walk down the aisle, I'm still next to you. Right? You are. You are. You're still next to me. So, you know what you gotta do? And I said, yeah, I know what I gotta do. I know how to say goodbye to people. I've been to funerals before. Oh my God, Gringo, you're so dramatic. Man, I can smell you, Troy. I can smell you too, Gringo. I really can, you know. I can feel you so close. Like when we were kids, you know, we were so young and we helped each other. We were always hungry on the street. You took care of me. You took care of me, Gringo. You know. I'm gonna give you a kiss on your forehead. Gringo, what? You know what? You're not gonna be alone. You're so scared of being alone. It's just your mama went to you in your dreams, right? And she told you, stop. You're not gonna be alone. You're gonna be okay. Right, she did? Well, Gringo, give me a kiss on my forehead. Say goodbye to me, okay? And then, if I give you a kiss in the forehead and then they close this casket, then that means that this is it, right? That means that this is it completely. It's like, even if I think about this, or I'm dreaming this, or this ain't real, that means that this is fucking it, right? Like, Troy, he goes, Gringo, say goodbye to me, because when you walk out of this place, there's gonna be love waiting for you right outside the door. You're gonna have love waiting for you right outside the door, Gringo. Oh man. Okay, Troy. Oh, okay, Troy. This is gonna be real now because I have to walk out. And Troy. Hey, Troy! Troy! Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, no, I'm okay, I know. Troy. Oh, Troy, where are you? Gringo, what? He's there waiting for you. And when I walked out of that funeral home, and everyone was hugging each other, and everyone had somebody there, the first face I see is my husband's face. And he tells me, come on, let's go home. Vamos para casa. He was a very firm, serious. Vamos. You already gave all you can give. You threw it out into the universe. You already gave all you can give and you threw it out to the universe, and you have your family waiting for you, you know? Jose, tus sobrinos, tus sobrinas, tus cuñados, todos ellos te están esperando, te quieren. Let's go home. It's hard because even though I lost Troy along the way, Beatrice was never far behind, no? I do gotta say that Beatrice and I were really tight, and she called me and she says, Gringo, I'm sick. And then I said, well, you know, Not even in my mind. I was thinking, you're not gonna be sick. You're gonna be okay. She's Beatrice. She's firm. She works for the Chicago Correctional Center. She works for social service. She became a Dr. Beatrice Mojica. I mean, this is really impressive. Within a span of 6 months, man. Isn't it amazing? Beautiful, vibrant life. She had salsa, boy. She lived for her daughter. Her daughter was everything in her eyes. She never left my side throughout everything that we went through as friends. And I'm a handful. She's firm. She used to be our security when we were young in All Stars. She was really tough. So when I went to the hospital, it was my turn to be with her in the hospital because she was loved by so many. She had a lot of people. Of course, why not? And I sat with her and I held her hand. And I didn't want her to talk too much. I was trying to give her some Starbucks coffee, just the way she likes it. She couldn't hold it down. One time she looked up at me and she says, Gringo, I gotta use the washroom. I said, come on, I'll help you. I sat her up on bed, assist her so she can sit up on the side of the bed, and then she stood up, and then, man, I held her, and she was just fragile little bones, so thin. As we got our balance, in the bed, because I was going to help her to walk to the washroom, we were swinging back and forth. And she said, Gringo, and I said, wow, Mama. She goes, look at all-star dancers. And I said, yeah. And she goes, look at, you're a superstar, Gringo. And I said, no, you're a superstar. I assisted her back into bed, and then she just took a nap, At one time, she turned to me and she said, and she opened her eyes and she says, you here again? That attitude was still there. She says, you here again? Coño. I said, I told you I was going to be here. I told you I was going to be here, right? And it was really, really tough because she was just vibrant a couple of months ago. When she passed, everyone was ready to go to the funeral. Of course, I don't blame them. That's the way it is. That's life. That's the process. That's how we do it. I couldn't go. I could not go. Man, I just was thinking, if I go to the funeral, I'm going to be sitting down in those chairs. And people are going to be talking to me and saying hello. And I really don't care about that. All I care about is that little girl that I met, that I went through life and I seen her in different stages. I didn't have that when I was growing up. That was her. I had it with a lot of the all-stars that I didn't have at home. So if I couldn't give them up, maybe that was my fault, right? Or maybe it wasn't. I just couldn't. I knew I didn't want to sit there and hold that, But I knew that the next day, Sunday, bright and early, I was going to put my tuxedo on. I was going to get my tuxedo because I had a very important date. If we can get dressed this weekend and we don't know what we're going to wear and we're going to order everything from outside and we just want to look beautiful for everybody in the club, why can't we look our best when we say goodbye to someone we love? Why can't we say, look at, I'm going to put this suit on, this really nice clean top, or not. We do our best. That was my best because I had my tuxedo. That was my best because I had a tuxedo. In the church, I kept my head down throughout the whole service. And my head was so heavy, I couldn't put it up. You know, I can hear her talk, and Gringo stop that shit, because she was really strong. It was a really hard loss. The casket came by me. I put my arm on it, and it was like my arm was so heavy I didn't want to let go of that casket, you know. Because I was thinking, wow, man. You know, how life is, you know. I just video of us living this life of us being together and being friends and her being a young girl. Who am I to take that place in this world? You know, I don't know. I felt it was mine. And there was the casket. There she went. You know, one of the great things that happened along the way as I talked to you, the hungry funny times before this story, the middle of the story, the real dance fever back in the days, and after back in the days. The most magical thing is that when I ended up writing a book, about this story, me? Why me? I mean, they were everything. I always thought they were smarter than me. I mean, I thought they had the most beautiful looks, the personalities. I was just a tag along, you know. But you know something? I don't know what was my purpose. But you know, I lost them all one by one. I don't know, I always wanted to take care of them because I thought that I would always tell Troy, you know, we gotta watch it because, you know, we gotta get old together, you know, we're gonna have to at least, you know, get old together, at least be in a nursing home fighting, you know. You're a bitch, that'd be funny. So, my assignment in life, man, I don't know what it is. But I've learned just to give until you can't give no more. Because, you know, the people that I lost were so young, so talented. And as long as I can continue to say their stories, their voices, their characters, their personalities, I live. That's Gringo. Gringo gets to live through them. They created a lot of Gringo that was shy. They created a lot of Gringo that was so not daring. All that was Jose. That little chubby boy that was at home, never seen, never heard. So that's why I continue to say the stories, and that's my assignment. We didn't want to make history. We ended up making our own histories. You know, we didn't want to make history. We ended up making our own history. And I used to continuously tell the All-Stars, you know what? We're exactly where we're supposed to be. And you know what? You can shine. And when you shine, you better dream. And when you dream further than you've ever been before. And they were like, oh, Gringo, you always say that. You see, I had to believe in their dreams because they believed in mine. I didn't have that. They were everything. And while we went through a life with different dance groups, and while we went through life with different dance groups growing up here in Chicago, to a lot of people it was fun, it was music, it was just a time of hanging out, it was just a time of being a great time. It was all serious to me. It was music, it was My school, it helped me with the All-Stars. I got to do a lot of things. I got to travel. I got to be professional. Way ahead of that. Way ahead of anybody that did anything with these groups. You know? So this is just a little bit of what this story is about. And it's really about this love and hate, a loyal story that will continue to spread to everyone. And thank you for listening to this. Sorry for crying, I'm a crier. Thank you. More to come soon. Thank you.
Oh my God, Gringo. I'm so proud of you. Look what you did. You know, I was there at your last dances and I saw this. I knew you can do it. No, we can do it. My redhead, Elizabeth. I love you so much. I love you too, Gringo. It was wonderful. One of the best times of my life. Being an all-star when I was so young. You know, I thank you for everything, Gringo. Elizabeth, your daughter, she just bought a house. She's hoping you would be so proud of her. I was there. I'm with her every day. I love you, Gringo. All-star. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, Gringo, look what happened, oh my God. Charlie, oh my God, oh my God. Listen, Gringo, remember those days when you had the audition in my cousin's bedroom and the bunk beds? Oh my God, Gringo, and then we're all stars and other competitions and everything, they were in love and so much. Okay, I know that, Mama, relax. Oh my God, I'm sorry. I'm just so proud of you. You're like a big brother I've never had, Gringo. You know, when I was in school, they ignored me, you know, and then I was the leader of the girl of the All-Stars. Charlie, All-Star. I love you, Charlie. I love you so much. What the fuck is going on, huh? What the hell? I would never know this motherfucking shit is happening. Gringo, I'm so proud of you. Look what you did. This fucking shit is awesome. I fucking love you. Oh, my Hildegard. Hilda, remember, you come from a Pentecostal. Oh, Pentecostal is just a word, baby. God bless you, baby. I love you. Rest in peace, nothing, baby. When Hildegard's on the prowl. I love you more. Gringo, you know who it is? It's La-di-da, Talu, Hollywood Slavish. You gave me that name, bitch. Look at, I still got my handkerchief and I'm just waving it in the air, you know, and I'm turning around, because Gringo, it doesn't matter if you're fat, you're big, you're bold, you're beautiful. Gringo, remember, you know, you chose me, Gringo. It didn't matter how I looked when everybody didn't. You know, you're an all-star. No, you're an all-star, Edgar. Yes, I love you so much, Gringo, and I miss you. I miss you too, Edgar. Ay, qué lindo, qué chulo tú eres, Gringo. Yo sabía, Gringo, que tú lo ibas a hacer. Ay, mi teso, my Lucy, my Edie Chacon, our Aunt Margaret. I know, I still love it. And when I dance, I go, fa, I go, ah, I go, kapow, I go, ooh, ah. I know you had sound effects all the time, Lucy, I love you. We started this before anyone when we were young, remember? I know, Papi, I remember. I remember we were together in Loteria. We were so young and then we always stood together. Yo te quiero mucho, Gringo. Qué lindo tú eres. No, qué linda tú eres. Te amo, Gringo, te quiero. We did it. No, you did it. Gringo. Listen, I want you to do something. You better let them know, Gringo, because you know how I am. I'm very serious. You know, you let them know that the All-Stars gave a lot to this community, gave a lot to this society. You know, there were a lot of professional All-Stars. You better let them go. A mí no me gusta eso. Tú le dejas saber, gringo, porque tú sabes cómo yo soy. Okay, Miss B, I know. I want everyone to know that my security guard of the All-Stars. I know, that was so funny, gringo. I always used to love to be with you guys. Pero tú tienes que dejarle saber, okay? Ay, yes, Dr. Mojica. Stop that. Don't call me Dr. Mojica. I'm just Miss B, All-Star. I love you, Beatrice. I love you too, gringo. I got to see this, gringo. And I know you were holding my hand. I remember that. All-Star. Well, I just want to say, no. You better pay attention. You better pay attention. Because I know a lot of damn Spanish. Ooh, child. Look at y'all. Praying to the Virgin Guadalupe. You know, you better underlay. Because here is Troy la Chocolate, bitch. Troy la Chocolate. Gringo, you big old gigantical lovable tree. I love you, gringo. I love you too, Troy. You know, I used to dance when everybody was gone in my house, and I used to grab my mother's brush and just pretend I was on stage. You did that for me, gringo. You did a lot for me, Troy. So I want you to know you're not alone, bitch. You're never gonna be alone. And I'm gonna prove it to you. Come here. Come back out here. Huh? Come here. You two, everybody here? Look at Gringo. We're all around you. Even all of them. Look at all of them. Wait a minute. There's somebody missing here, child. Elizabeth. Get over here, girl. Oh, Gringo. I don't know how you do it with these All-Stars. They just, come on. See, Gringo? We're all here. We're here, Gringo. I can feel you guys. When I first wrote my book and I received the box, the first place I wanted to go was my community, the Urban Theater Company, believe it or not. So many other companies, but no, I held my book, and I remember that's exactly where I wanted to go. I couldn't believe I wrote a book. Me? Dyslexia? Me? I was always in the shadows of everyone? But art saved me. Man, art saved me when I was young and forgotten and everything was going so fast around me. Art saved me when I was scared and abandoned. Art saved me when I needed to belong. Art saved me when I was a young boy. So, if you love art and you just love Mozart, Van Gogh, Michael Jackson, Aretha Franklin, any artist, painter, writer, author, they're as human and no less human than you are, than I am. You know, we're here for a short time to learn, to observe, to give back. That's the assignment. We were just having fun. We didn't know we were supposed to make history, and we made our own history. We are a product of our environment. In life, thank you. Thank you to each and every all-star, each and every old school. Thank you to everybody for keeping this alive. Thank you to the Urban Theater Company for seeing me. Thank you to one of Chicago's amazing, talented, history-making Latina playwright, Miranda Gonzalez. I want to say thank you to these amazing kings. DJ Lugo Rosado. This DJ is literally a legendary DJ. You want to talk about 1978, 80s, 90s, and here we are. A great mentor for our community, always giving back. DJ Lugo Rosado. This next person is an amazing musician, arranger, composer, DJ Nuno Dan. Remember that name. These are amazing people that give back. But I also want to say, while you guys know who Gringo is, you don't know who Jose is. When Jose is in pain, or when Jose had 27 heart attacks, when Jose had heart surgery that didn't go well, when Jose had 2 knee surgeries and needed blood, when Jose was in pain every night and needed to be washed up and fed and walked, and he would walk right in back of me, making sure that I didn't fall. Taking care, for we all have a kingmaker or a queen maker in our lives. Then it doesn't matter how much makeup you wear and how expensive are your suits. Who cares when there's someone taking care of you? Because when you go out to the world, that person knows who you are. That person knows that you guys are a team. I could never do this without the only person in my life. No matter how hard it got, and he never gave up on me. This is my husband, my partner in life for over 33 years. Ivan Justiniano, Justiniano family, to all my nieces and nephews. Thank you for loving me. The end of this trilogy, story, saga is next. For I have to say goodbye to him. He's been with me all my life. I've given him too much to carry. I expected a lot from him when he didn't even know. He was as scared as I was, as hungry as I was, as alone as I was. Didn't know what he was. Didn't know what the world was gonna bring. But it's time for him to be free, and it's time for me to take the lead. Gringo goes face to face with young Gringo to let him free. Oh my God. I always order my hot dog and my hamburgers with no mustard. All the time. This is good. How's yours? Mine is great, man. I love it. You like it? Why do you always order it with no mustard? Ketchup and mayonnaise, but no mustard. Joe used to order it like that. We used to be on the streets when we were hungry back then. Oh man. Something as simple as a hot dog and a hamburger. And I really didn't have no style or nothing. I just didn't even know. I just ordered. But I always listened to what he ordered. And he always ordered a hot dog or a hamburger. No mustard.
ketchup, mayonnaise, onions, lettuce. These fries are good. Man, remember the music back then, Gringo? Do you remember the music? Ooh, man, the music was something else, boy. And the dancing. Oh man, it was like something out of this world. I don't even know if people experience that kind of feeling. I mean, you used to dance and dance to house music and soulful house music, especially when you used to dance. I mean, it was like you made your space and your hair all over the place, and sometimes you wet people because your hair was just waving and just so curly everywhere. But damn, you got everyone's attention and you weren't out there to show off. It was a particular song that would get you out there, right? And you would just go out there and dance. I know, Gringo. I remember just dancing and dancing and dancing. It was just so beautiful. Something that just takes my mind and just takes me to another place, and like, ooh, and I go like this, and then I go like that, and then I go like this. You know what? You're so beautiful, Gringo. You are. Anybody ever tell you how handsome you are? But of course not, right? Well, I mean, I should know that myself. Looking at you. Wow. It's amazing how sometimes we forget to look at each other to see how we really look on the outside as time passes on. But you are just beautiful, you're bright, you're handsome, you're kind and you're giving. Wow. That is something. But Gringo, I was like that because of you. Because if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be like that. Yeah, I guess you're right. You know, I don't know how you made it. Sometimes I even think about that. I don't know how you made it, man. I mean, you grew up in a family that didn't see you. You didn't even exist. Everyone took what they wanted, went their own way. No accountability for nothing. Huh? And then you meet Troy. You meet this wild, wild life. You have fun. You have an amazing, wonderful time. You lose a lot of friends because of AIDS. Gang violence, peer pressure, drugs, cancer. I mean, you are stronger than I thought. I don't even know how you made it with all that, and by yourself. I mean, by yourself. You were so introverted, out of the way. Even when you were with Troy and the other guys, you never had an identity. I know, I would just let them be them. I mean, they were so like out there and in your face, you know that? And well, I like to like lay to the back and just sit there, just observe everyone. You know, Gringo, it's because of them, you know, that I got little bits of everything in me. It's because you didn't stop believing in me. I always believed in you. Did it? You overcame it. Look at, here we are. After all these years, here we are. And Papi, I couldn't have done it without you.
You say that I'm handsome and I'm beautiful? Look at you, Gringo. Look at you. I can tell in your eyes. I can tell that your smile and your emotions are the most priceless, heaviest diamond you got in your heart, right? Yeah, I guess. I know. But now, it's time. I mean, you gotta do everything, and I gotta do everything, and it's time for you to go. I know. I got a lot of things I gotta do, and I just wanted to tell you thank you, because, wow. If it wasn't for you when I was alone and abandoned, I really wouldn't even know what to do. And now, it's just me. Everyone had passed away. And the music is still playing. Of course. Look at you dancing. Ooh, Gringo. The music is so good, puppy. Ooh. Look at the music. Ooh. You are beautiful. Gringo. What? I just gotta tell you something now. You have got to go. And know that in your heart, we did good. We did good. We loved. We learned. I'm so proud of you, Gringo. I'm so proud of you. When no one thought I could make it, when no one thought, huh? My curly hair and my disheveled, and my clothes didn't match, and no one cared and no one saw me, but you saw me, Gringo. You knew I was gonna be much, much more than that. You did so many things. I'm amazed. I mean, you really gave a lot of love to your dancers, and you really tried your best, huh? I did. Sometimes I made a lot of mistakes. So did I. You're so funny. No, you're so funny. But you know what, Gringo? You did it. You continued to dance, to choreograph, singer-songwriter, producing, writing 2 books. Who would even think writing 2 books? You're leaving so many things in history, so many things to follow, so many things for us to say thank you. Really? Yes, thank you. Because of what you did. I know that it must be hard continuing to say the story over and over and relive it over and over. But if you don't say it, who will? I know. You're right. If I don't say it, who will? Gringo, I'm mean, you imitate us all. You're so funny, you're so talented. I know that you're gonna be okay. That's the only reason why you're having lunch with me, right? No, because of this great hamburger, by the way. But you're gonna be okay. I know it. Because you have taken care of me all this time. Ooh, Gringo, you have taken care of me. A couple of times you kind of like, let me go there a little, but, and I have scraped my knees, but you always lift me up. And now, you're not alone, Gringo. You continue with those memories and those beautiful faces that you remember, and you speak in their place. That's what you do. Yeah, well, sometimes it feels so lonely, but having you, at least I know that I really wasn't alone, because looking back and looking at everything that we've been through, it's pretty amazing, pretty lonely, pretty scary, pretty abandoned, really unbelievable. But still there, man. You and I. And awesome, the part of my life, like you are. I will always talk in their place, and as long as I got strength, Gringo, what do you want? What do you mean? Well, what do you want? Like I said, we're having this burger and I love it. It's so delicious. But what do you want, Gringo? Because you have to go, and I keep telling you that, and you just won't go. I know. Wait a minute. No. Listen. I've walked ahead a long time, Gringo. I've been the one in the forefront. Haven't I? You have, yes. Now, it's time for you to walk in front. And I'll be near you. I'll be right beside you. I'll be right in back of you. I'll be right on top of you, on the other side of you. I'll be dancing because the music always plays. But this time, Gringo, I'm not going away. But you just gotta take the lead this time. Because I know you can. You've done it all this time for us too. I have. You have. You're beautiful, Gringo. You're a beautiful man. Your eyes are waiting to be loved. Your heart, all this time, has been the same. Sometimes, I bet you forgot about your heart. But it's the most beautiful thing we got. We love to love. Gringo, we do. Our assignment is to love to say the stories and to don't wait for anything. That's the assignment, Gringo. I know. I've always known that was the assignment. You know, having you all this time by my side has been the most strongest feeling. But I understand. So, let's look at each other. What? Gringo. Gringo. Stop it. You stop it. Oh my God. Okay, stop it. Oh my God, you stop it. What do you mean? What do you mean? Let's look at each other. I mean, I don't get it. What do you mean? Gringo. Just look at me. And I will look at you. Thank you. Thank you. We gotta go now, right? We do. I've been telling you all this time. You know, you've been drama. Ever since you've been in your Theaterings theater, you've been dramatized. All you two tell me that. I love you. I love you too. Let's go. I get it. I'm gonna walk right in front. Okay? Let me get up. All right. I know. Well, listen. Anyway. Hey, Gringo. Hey, Gringo. Gringo. Gringo, where are you? Oh, shit. Okay. It's okay. Yeah, okay. There he goes. There he goes. There goes Gringo. I love you, Gringo. I'm right beside you. I'm dancing. Woo! I'm dancing to all the songs you love. Woo! I'm gonna turn around. You're gonna love my hair. Ooh! Ooh, I love you, Gringo. Oh, thank you, Gringo. Oh, you made me feel so free, Gringo. Thank you.
Here, I've been here all the time. By your side, by your side.
Believe in love. Believe in love. You're never alone. You're never alone.
Feel so real, believe in love. When you believe